What is up? My name is Warren E. Freeman Jr. Here with Warren's Vlog. Episode 73. I'm reviewing Raw and SmackDown back to back to see who won for the week. I gotta come up with a different intro. That's too much like Brian Zane, but that's alright. He'll never hear about me anyway. I got the Weeknd playing in the background. I don't know, I'm just feeling the Weeknd right now. I still haven't checked out his new album. I'm about to do that probably when I'm done with this video. But obviously I don't own any music that you hear in this video. Let me just get my Vince McMahon mode on real quick. And this is what I think Vince McMahon either thought or said in his production meetings for Raw and SmackDown. So let me get into characters. Alright, pal. I mean, we got Raw, go home Raw, and go home SmackDown. Alright, WrestleMania is this Sunday. We don't want to hurt the boys, so let's just throw a couple crap matches together. The people in the Battle Royal, just put them in some meaningless matches for no reason, and let's just get to Mania. But push the shit out of Shane McMahon and Stephanie McMahon matches, man. You really got to push that. I mean, remind them of the fact. Oh, and make sure you plug the WWE Network, pal. Okay, because the WWE Network is going to be free to all new subscribers, so you plug the shit out of it, pal. Any questions? Oh, and make Roman Reigns look strong, pal. No chance. I hate sneezing. Okay. So that's my Vince McMahon impression, and that's a little exaggerated, obviously. Don't test me. I will do the strut right now, but I won't go that far with it. That's pretty much my Vince McMahon impersonation, and that's what I can imagine him saying, something along those lines, because that's basically what we got for Raw and SmackDown. We got just that. We got meaningless matches. We got matches with people on the card at WrestleMania facing each other, and then that's what it was. As far as which show won for the week, I will let you know at the end of the video because I'm still not sure. So once I'm done, I'll give you my synopsis on that. Okay, so Monday Night Raw, emanating from Atlanta, Georgia. We start off with the Triple H, Stephanie, Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey segment, or face-off, but they're sitting down, like I'm sitting down. I don't know if I like the words there, or the title for that, the face-off, if they're sitting down. So it's supposed to be a Q&A session. Coach is the person in charge of this, as if that means anything. It's basically supposed to be a Q&A segment. Q&A, where there's questions submitted from social media, which I wouldn't be surprised if those questions came up with by the creative team to put on the Titantron for Coach to ask. Anyway, Triple H cuts Coach off and says, Kurt, I have a question. Integrity, intensity, and intelligence. The first two I's I agree with, but the third I I've always questioned, and I question even now. I'm paraphrasing. Basically, you've set Ronda Rousey up to lose. Rousey cuts him off and says, well, I'm not going to lose. And then they bicker back and forth. I thought about writing the questions down, but it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to get to the meat and potatoes of this segment. Stephanie basically says, you're stepping into our ring. We're going to beat you. And then Ronda gets to line in about, Stephanie, which hand are you dominant with? Stephanie says, I'm a righty. And then Ronda Rousey says, well, I just want to make sure your hand still works when I break it at WrestleMania so you can still write my checks. She kind of stalled the line a little bit. Like, it was almost like she was nervous to deliver it. Like, she stopped midway and the fans started to cheer. And that kind of made up for it. But yeah, Ronda is still iffy on the mic. I wouldn't just don't put her on the mic. You got these people that are weak on the mic. Shinsuke, Asuka, and again, it's those two. It's not really that they're weak on the mic. It's just that their dialect is awkward. But certain people don't need to speak. Braun Strowman is surprisingly good on the mic, but he doesn't need to be. But he is, so that's a plus. Roman Reigns has gotten better, but like big men like that, they don't need to speak. Like, people complained about that with Roman for the longest time. But I'm getting off track. Anyway, so Coach says, okay, We're going to conduct a photo op with professionalism. Unlike boxing and MMA, we're going to be professionals. Now, anytime in the WWE ring, hell, indie show, I don't really watch Ring of Honor or New Japan, but mainly WWE. Anytime you see a table set up in the ring, whether it's a contract signing, whether it's a contract negotiation, whether it's a whatever it is, somebody's going to the table. It's like a rule it's like with weddings. It's gonna get destroyed. The Godfather's gonna come out with his hose, or something has to happen. It never goes off without a hitch. So we got these two tables set up in the ring. They go for the photo op. Triple H and Kurt Angle get face to face. Kurt Angle and Stephanie and Ronda Rousey get face to face. Then they get like really close to each other, like they're gonna kiss. Kurt Angle gets in between them and separates them. Triple H grabs a microphone, hits Kurt Angle from behind. Kurt Angle takes a bump out of the ring. Then Ronda Rousey grabs Triple H by the throat like she's the Undertaker. And Triple H looked at her like, bitch, if you don't get your fucking hand. It was like, why? I mean, now we already know Ronda Rousey can kayfabe slam Triple H. But the fact, just seeing Ronda Rousey grab Triple H by the throat was ridiculous. So Stephanie essentially says, get your hands off my man, in so many words. She doesn't say that, but then she gives this weird-looking suplex to Ronda Rousey, who, like Triple H, jumped for Ronda. Ronda jumped for Stephanie, obviously. And then she goes to the table. Ronda does a horrible job of selling. She's like this. And she's got the front. It's actually kind of funny. Like, Ronda's got this mean mug, and she's looking up at Stephanie, and Stephanie's talking shit. And then Stephanie gets out of the ring, and then that's the end of that segment. And Kurt Angle was standing there looking like an idiot. Like usual. Okay. I can't suspend my belief enough to believe that Stephanie is not intimidated by Ronda Rousey. I just can't. I'm sorry. Like I said last week about the hype package. They did a wonderful job of making it seem that way, but I don't buy it. Like, Stephanie comes out to her entrance music, she's gyrating her hips, which I enjoyed because I'm a man. But looking at that from the other side, it's like, she's not taking this match seriously. It's just, I just can't suspend my belief that far. I'm sorry. And I will be very shocked if that match does not end with Stephanie McMahon and an armbar tapping out. And the only way that match could go left is if Kurt Angle eats the fall. Which is still a loss for Rousey, which I don't think they're going to do. So, and you'll hear me throughout this video sneak predictions in for WrestleMania, but I'm still going to do an official WrestleMania prediction video. But you're going to hear me sneak some predictions in there, and that was just one of them. Okay. Bayley versus Sonya Deville. Nothing memorable happened in this match. The ending came when Sonya went for a jumping roundhouse kick. Bayley rolled her up for the 1-2-3. Mandy Rose and Sonya came out and beat down Bayley. Sasha came out to help Bayley. For some reason, Sasha demands Bayley to raise her hand, as if Sasha had won a match for helping her. And I don't get it. She was like, raise my hand. Raise my hand. Bayley's like, no. Like, I'm not raising your hand. Then Sasha does like one of these to Bayley, and then Bayley slugs her. They start brawling, and then Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville lay them both out. As far as, well, I'll bitch about that in the video. I'll get into that later. But that's how that match ended. We had an Asuka video package. We had Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, and after that, Miz was on commentary. Miz did a good job of putting over both Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, to his credit. And, Michael Cole goes, oh, well, is this the Miz we're seeing here? And Miz was like, when you have a baby, it changes you. And Miz was very positive on commentary. Now, I can attest to Miz being changed because I'm a father myself. So It's true. Especially when you have a daughter, it does change you. But it's kind of disheartening if Miz is using that in an angle, though. I don't know if I really like that as a father myself. I don't know. That's how I feel about that. Miz aside, which he did add to commentary, he certainly didn't take away. I didn't even write anything down for Finn Balor and Seth Rollins because there was nothing to write down. I mean, those guys just tore it up. There's nothing I could really say negative for sure about it. They paused the whole, they teased the whole shoulder, the powerbomb spot where Finn Balor got injured at SummerSlam. They teased that, and Finn got out of it and then hit a sling blade on the floor. That was nice. That was a nice callback to the SummerSlam match. If anything, they topped their SummerSlam match to me because I think Finn getting hurt took away from their SummerSlam match 2 years ago. That being said, Seth Rollins on with the curb stomp. Probably match of out of both shows. That was probably like the best match overall. It goes downhill. It goes downhill from here. So we got a Reigns and Brock hype video. After that, Kurt Angle confronts Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's on the phone with whoever. Kurt Angle says, "Look, Paul, WrestleMania is this Sunday. Please don't say anything to incite Roman Reigns into kicking Brock Lesnar's ass, basically, so to speak." Paul Heyman laughs and says, "Okay, Kurt, I got you, whatever." Then we go to the bar segment. The bar basically call out Braun Strowman, and they want to know who his partner is. This, by far, is probably the dumbest thing that I've seen between both Raw and SmackDown so far. This was fucking atrocious. So Sheamus and Cesaro, they want to know who Braun's tag team partner is. Braun comes out and says, "Okay, I'll go get him." Braun goes backstage, comes out in a sleeveless white button-up shirt and glasses. It says, "My name is Braun Strowman," and attacks the bar. The bar kind of goes over on Strowman for a minute, and then, of course, the shirt and the glasses come off. The bar goes over for like a second. Braun comes back and throws the ball out of the ring. This was dumb. This was dumb. This would have been the perfect opportunity to bring out Big Show. Or whoever, I'm just saying Big Show, that's who I think it's going to be. Or whoever Braun's partner is. Do they do that? No. They go with Braun Strowman. Who is writing this? Who the fuck is writing this shit? Or more importantly, why is Vince McMahon approving this shit? Oh my god, Raw lost major points for that bullshit. Goldust and Matt Hardy do dueling promos. I like Goldust's promo in particular because he referenced the Princess Bride. I don't remember what the quote was, but he said something that Andre the Giant had said, which makes sense, obviously, because they're both in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. This match had no purpose other than the fact that they're both in a Battle Royal and they're both weird. And as far as this no purpose thing, I'm going to get back to that later on. Because there will be a lot of matches across Raw and SmackDown that just serve absolutely no purpose other than to promote the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Cena promo. This really upset me to the point where I actually turned Raw off and went to bed. I was already tired to begin with and I had a headache. And after this Cena promo, I just went to bed. I said, fuck this. It was a combination of me being upset, like I said, me being sick, and me being tired. So, Cena comes out, does his normal shtick, tries to call out The Undertaker, nothing happens. And they pause for a minute, and then they play Cena's music. And then he just walks away. I talked about this John Cena going to WrestleMania as a fan thing a couple of videos ago. I can't suspend my belief that much. It'd be like I said, it'd be like me going to a Patriots game and seeing Tom Brady sitting right next to me, or me going to see The Weeknd. I'm just because he's playing right now. I go to the concerts and see The Weeknd and I see him sitting next to me. It doesn't work that way. to me. I can't suspend my belief that far. I think I said this last week that if anything, they'll probably do what they did with Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 31 and don't have Taker show up until WrestleMania. But at this point, from what I could tell, the WrestleMania card is already stacked. So, this is my official prediction for this. I might as well get it out the way now, and I'll do it again in my WrestleMania prediction video. I don't think there'll be a match at WrestleMania. I think there'll be a confrontation at WrestleMania between John Cena and The Undertaker. And it could possibly set up for next year at WrestleMania 35. And that's my official prediction with that. So, upon going to bed, of course, I went back and watched the rest of Raw and later on. And I don't know if this is in order the way I wrote it. I'm not sure if it is or not. So, basically, I went back on YouTube and I just watched everything I missed. So, we had a sit-down interview with Renee Young and Nia Jax. And, I don't know what it is about her voice that's just unsettling to me. Like, at first, I thought her voice was too nice, and it didn't match her demeanor. Like, I'm not saying she needs to sound like Braun Strowman or sound like a man. It's just she doesn't sound threatening enough for me. And this segment did not help that. Like, she was sitting there talking like this. You know, my feelings were really hurt. You know, I was hurt by what Alexa said about me. I thought we were friends, but we're not. And I'm proud of who I am. I'm a big girl. I'm not a goddess. You know, I'm a big girl and I'm proud. And then she teared up a little bit, but it just wasn't enough emotion conveyed for me, personally. People may disagree. That's just my opinion. And the only time she showed any emotion was when she said she was gonna squash Alexa like a bug. When she said that, she had a little bit more emotion, but that was it. She's related to The Rock. Like, you can't convey emotion. You're related to The Rock. I mean, okay. Now, on a more serious note, I think if they have Alexa win, they'll be sending the wrong message to little girls out there. Because a few weeks ago, Kurt Angle chastised Alexa Bliss for body shaming Nia Jax, basically. Talking about, you know, my daughters watch that. Little girls around the world watch that. You're supposed to be a good representative as a women's champion, not a bully. And, you know, then they have the whole don't be a bully, be a star bullshit. So I think if they have Alexa win, I feel like that's counteracting their message they're trying to send. So, of course, Nia Jax is going to win. That's my prediction. I'm sneaking them in there. You got to catch them because I'm sneaking them in there. And that's kind of hard. And the thing is, it's kind of hard for me not to sneak these in because there's not a lot of substance to cover here. They basically just, both shows' objective was just to get to WrestleMania. That was it. Alright, so Elias versus Heath Slater. Again, I'm going to complain about all these pointless matches later. Heath over. I'm sorry, Heath lost. I don't know. Why did I write Heath over? Wow. Elias over with the drift away. I guess they're still doing this make Heath strong. Or make Heath Slater look tough gimmick. With Rhino just throwing him in matches. Like when he threw him to the Dudleys. On Raw 25. Whatever. Roman Kurt segment. This was confusing to me. You know, Kurt Angle goes into Roman Reigns' locker room and he begs him not to hurt Brock. And Roman says, you know what, man, I'm tired of Brock. He's been disrespecting me these past 3 weeks. He's been disrespecting me these past 4 years. And I'm doing this for everybody in that locker room that's bust their ass to be here. And that, just that and the fourth. And then Roman Reigns says, you know, I respect you, Kurt Angle. But then he turns around and says, you can take your peace treaty and take it back to the pawn shop where you sold your gold medals. And I'm like, first off, how does that make sense? And secondly, if you respect Kurt Angle, Why would you say something like that to Kurt? Like, I don't know what they were going for. I don't know. That was just confusing to me. So out of that, we go Asuka and Dana Brooke versus Alexa and Mickey James. Is Dana Brooke heel or face? Can somebody tell me? Is Dana Brooke a heel or a face? Do they know? Vince McMahon, or do they know if she's a face or heel? I doubt it. Because one week she's heel, one week she's face, but she's hot as hell, so keep her on TV as much as possible, please. Dana Brooke took a lot of the heat. Asuka got the hot tag and clean house and got Mickey James to tap out to the Asuka lock, because obviously they're not going to have Alexa lose on the Go Home Raw. Nia Jax comes out and chases them both out of the ring. She grabs Alexa Bliss, but she escapes, and then Nia Jax murders Mickey James. Yeah. So, then we go to the final segment of the show, where Paul Heyman comes out, does his normal shtick. He insults Roman Reigns' family, saying you're going to let your uncles down, you're going to let your daughter down. I don't think he said his daughter. His wife, his uncles, his dad, his family, you're going to let them all down because you're going to have to go home and say, I lost to Brock Lesnar. Yeah. And then this was the thing that I caught that Paul Heyman said, that Roman is going to be another notch on Brock's belt, but like referring to the Universal title belt. And I actually wrote this down. I'm like, so Roman's going to be another notch on Brock's belt. Newsflash. Brock Lesnar pinned Roman Reigns at SummerSlam last year. Does anybody remember? Am I the only one that remembers this shit? Continuity, motherfuckers! Do you know it? Do you have it? Oh my god. Like, and I have to be the only one that remembers this. I have to be. Like, no one else is calling them out on this shit. Brock pinned Reigns in the Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam. They knew they were going to have Brock and Reigns. I've been telling everybody since WrestleMania 33. The main event for WrestleMania 34 is going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. They know that. So, I guess they just think that we're going to forget that Brock Lesnar actually pinned Roman Reigns at SummerSlam in the Fatal 4-Way. And you could have pinned Strowman. You could have pinned... Who else was in that match? Samoa Joe. You could have pinned any of them motherfuckers. But no, you pinned Reigns. Oh, my God. So, Brock is going to be... Roman is going to be 2 notches in Brock's belt. Assuming Brock wins. And then... Oh, and then it gets stupid. Then it starts to get stupid after this. Now I watched this on YouTube, so it was edited. So Paul Heyman said all that shit. Then Roman Reigns came out, and Roman Reigns was barricaded by these following wrestlers, and I wrote it down: The Bar, who are heels; Titus Worldwide, who are faces; Mr. Ross, who are heels; the Revival, who are heels; the Good Brother, who are heels, but they're faces; and then Slater and Rhino, who are faces. Okay, so you have basically everybody that's in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. That's not my problem. Here's my problem. Why do you have heels out there? Why wouldn't the heels just jump on Roman Reigns? Why are you having heels and the faces united? The Revival and the Good Brothers have been fighting each other for weeks, but now they're united? It doesn't make any sense. Slater is the only person that I could buy being out there, letting Reigns get the Brock, because Brock Lesnar doesn't give a shit about your kids. And that is the only person I could buy being out there is Slater. That's it. I mean, loosely, McGillicuddy. What's his name? Kurt McGillicuddy. That was the name they gave him. Curtis Axel. I could loosely buy Axel because of his relationship with Paul Heyman. But other than that, that was dumb. And I feel like they just grabbed a bunch of wrestlers just so Roman Reigns can say, oh, are you full-time people going to protect that part-time bitch? And then the seas parted, and then the sea of mid-Carters parted, and Roman Reigns walked right through. And it just reminds me of the Go Home SmackDown for WrestleMania 20, which was 14 years ago, and I still remember it. Wow. But anyway, Brock Lesnar, it involves Brock Lesnar again. Brock Lesnar has stole Stone Cold's ATV, and Stone Cold came to SmackDown to get it back. And same thing. Heyman had all these wrestlers up on the stage, barricading the ring. I don't remember who all was there. I think Ultimo Dragon, Scotty 2 Hotty, Rikishi maybe. But the last person Austin was greeted by was the Big Show, who was a heel. He was a full-fledged heel and allies with Brock Lesnar recently. At that point. And then Big Show gets a face pop when he says, "Go get him, Austin." And Big Show was a heel. Like, I don't get shit like that. I don't get it. I don't think heels, they need to do it like they used to do, like in the old days. I was just at a show with the franchise Shane Douglas recently. And he used to talk about how he, worked for Bill Watts. And Bill Watts was very strict about not having the faces and the heels together. Like, the heels would travel on a separate loop, and the faces would travel on a separate loop. The heels would stay at one hotel, and the faces would stay at a hotel. And if the faces and the heels intertwined, it was like $500. Fine. That was a different generation. It's a different time. I understand that. Kayfabe is dead. But I still think, like, if I ran a wrestling promotion, I would keep the heels and faces separate too. I think that part still needs to be followed on TV and off TV. That's just my opinion. But yeah, so Reigns gets in the ring. He Superman punches Brock 5 times, and then grabs the title and looks at the sign. And this is the one time where if you look at the sign, you done fucked up. Because he looked at the sign, he turns around and gets F5. It looks like he landed on the belt. And then Brock, still kind of selling the Superman punches, he slowly crawls out of the ring, grabs the title, and walks away. That was okay, I guess. And that was Monday Night Raw. Alright. SmackDown. We had the Shane Daniels segment. They basically kissed each other's ass, and then they apologized. But it was just something about the whole apology, like, I'm sorry. Then they hug it out. Something in that, to me, is telegraphing a heel turn. I'm thinking it's going to be Daniel Bryan, and that's going to cause their team to lose. Or, if Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, well, Daniel Bryan, I think, is going to turn on Shane, and that's going to cause their team to lose, which Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win. But win or lose, I think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to Raw, personally. Even if they win, I think they're going to go to Raw. That's just my opinion on that. But basically, that segment, to me, it just telegraphed either Daniel Bryan turning heel or Shane McMahon turning heel. To me. Other than that, it was fine. Charlotte versus Natalya, I'm starting to get tired of. I said it 2 weeks ago. They're becoming a female John Cena and Randy Orton. Vince McMahon again. We need a ladies match. Throw Charlotte and Natalya together. Again, it is not that these matches are bad. It's just that it's only so much you can do. Same thing with Cena and Randy Orton. They're not bad matches, but it's only so much you can do with these two. It's only so much. They had to spice it up again with the Carmella fake cash-in bullshit, which was the best stop of a cash-in I've ever seen. Carmella basically tried to cash in the briefcase, and Charlotte kicked the briefcase out of her hand. Oh my god, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen. That is the best preventative cash-in thing I've ever seen, without a doubt. They tried to tease the same finish from 2 weeks ago, but Charlotte got out of the schoolboy and then got Natalia in the figure eight. Natalia tapped out, which was good because you really don't want your champion to lose twice going into WrestleMania. Okay, then Asuka comes out and grabs a microphone, and I cringe immediately because I cringe every time Asuka grabs a microphone. She says, "You are gonna bow down to the Empress." Like, is she the Rock? What the fuck are you doing? I'm glad Charlotte took the mic from her. I'm glad she did because that was heading south. That was heading south. Charlotte says, "I'm ready, but are you ready?" And they're both breathing really hard, especially Asuka. Like, did she just get laid before she came out? Like, why is she breathing that hard? I don't know. Okay. So there we go. AJ has a backstage interview, and this shit was funny. And I try not to laugh at this because it's the way he talks. But that southern accent, man, he's like, Shinsuke set up that Kinshasa, and he patted me on my head like a dog. But this dog bites. It's like your stereotypical Texan mixed with Stan Hansen, mixed with Stone Cold. I don't know, but it took me. And AJ in that dialect, man. Him and his boys. Alright, so basically AJ says that Shinsuke thinks that, my weakness is that I have my emotions, or I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I know I'm an emotional guy, but it's not a strength. And then he says, Shinsuke, your weakness is you take me lightly. And I'll just cover Shinsuke's interview real quick, too, get that out of the way. Shinsuke says, you are emotional, basically, and I am playing mind games with AJ, but I'm taking AJ very seriously. Need you face. Okay, so I got both of them interviews out of the way. Then we got I wrote D-Bride package, but really it's the hype video for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. Very well put together video. I mean, they go all the way back to Kevin Owens beating up Vince McMahon. They go to the Hell in a Cell where Sami got involved, which I was there for. They show Survivor Series. They didn't show Night of Champions, but that's another chapter that I would have thought they would have thrown in there. Then they show the Fastlane shit where Shane screwed both Sami and Kevin Owens out of the title. Then they show them beating the shit out of Shane McMahon. They show Daniel Bryan firing them, and then them coming back and beating up Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan's emotional speech last week, and then that was it. Okay. Good video package. Jinder versus Rusev. On paper, it's heel versus heel, but Rusev is so fucking over that it doesn't even matter. Begrudgingly, I have to admit, both Aiden English and Sunil entertained me with their introductions for their men. Rusev over with the monster kick. Randy Orton was conspicuous by his actions, but you knew Randy Orton was going to get involved in this somehow. RKO out of nowhere on Rusev. Aiden English beats up Randy Orton. Aiden English gets on the second turnbuckle to set up for something, while Orton is still selling the beatdown from Aiden English. Bobby Roode, who was on commentary, I forgot to mention that, pushes Aiden English off the turnbuckle into the RKO. Roode and Randy Orton have a face-off. Roode hands Orton the title, and then they look at the sign because they love it when you point at the sign. Man, if I had $1 for every single time somebody pointed at that sign since the Royal Rumble, I'd be a millionaire. I would. I'd be rich. Yeah. All right. Then we go into the 9 o'clock hour. That actually carried into the 9 o'clock hour. And I already covered the Shinsuke interview. Then we go to New Day selling the network again. You can get the network for free. Well, the network isn't free, but WrestleMania is free to new subscribers. That was the whole point of that segment. The Usos jumped in and said, yeah, you get to watch us defend our tag titles, and the Bludgeon Brothers came. in the picture. And I was hoping that they wouldn't put the Bludgeon Brothers in this because it really doesn't fit their character. But for what they did in the segment, it fit. They came out, they had their hammers, and they smashed Kofi's laptop. And the camera went black. Alright, then we got the 8-man tag. The heel team, Mojo, Dolph, Primo. I didn't know he had a job. Corbin, the lone wolf, because that makes sense. He's in the fucking tag team. Versus the face team, Ryder, Ty Dillinger, and the Fashion Police. Heel team wins. Corbin over on Fandango at the end of the day. Again, I will focus on these pointless matches at the end of the video. I wrote Shad Gable versus Shelton Benjamin, or Shad Gable and Benjamin versus AJ and Shinsuke, because I thought that was next, but it wasn't. Fucking Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come out from the crowd, and they do one of those tropes that I hate. Even though I love Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens' promo. I love the promo, but that's not the point. They do this trope all the time where you get fired and you come back and you just come back through the crowd. I'm going to try not to rant about this a lot because Lord knows I've ranted on this particular subject on my videos a lot. But when you're fired, you're fired. You do not then come back to the building with a live mic and cut a promo. I can't suspend my belief that far. Like, now, okay, that being said, the promo was good. Sammy cut a scathing promo. I would have thought that Kevin Owens would have said that shit. But Kevin Owens probably thought of it for Sammy to say. But he starts talking about Daniel's baby daughter, Birdie. He starts talking about his wife, Bree. And I apologize to Birdie for her not being able to grow up to see her dad's WrestleMania return, epic return. And I apologize to you, Bree, for the man that we're going to send back to you. And I'm like, damn, Sammy is a heel. Ooh. All right, Sammy. Get your little heel on. And then Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon are watching on the Titantron or on the TV screen, thinking, we should do something about this. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're gonna go out and throw him out, or maybe we'll get some physicality. No, they come out and they say, nah, hey, goodbye, and that's the end of that. Kevin Owens could have good promo too. He said he's gonna send Shane McMahon back to Titan Tower so he could look at that scar that I put on your father's head, and you can cry on his lap because you got your ass beat by Kevin Owens or some shit like that. Both promos were good, but Sammy's really caught my eye, caught my ear, just because, like, ooh, you throwing Birdie into it, and you throwing Brie into it, and they gotta be real life friends to get that personal. They have to be real life friends. They gotta be. Alright, so then there's that. Then we have the match with Shad and Gable and Shelton Benjamin versus AJ and Nakamura. Before the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn segment, they did a Shad Gable and Shelton Benjamin cut a backstage promo. I was taking a shit, but it just sounded like one of those word porn promos. But basically they were saying, we're going to have them limping in the WrestleMania, and they're going to get a watered-down version of the Dream match. Which to the New Japan marks is going to be a watered-down version anyway. Shoot. So anyway, we get to the tag match, and this was a good match. There was a nice spot where Benjamin did like a running knee, and then Shad Gable did a moonsault on Shinsuke. They basically had a very formulaic tag match. Like, AJ took the heat. Started the match, took the heat, got the high tag. Shinsuke took the heat, got the half tag from AJ. Then AJ hit the forearm on Shad Gable for the win. And they stole my idea because last week Shinsuke teased the Kinshasa and then stopped and patted him on the head like a dog, as AJ Styles would say. And then I was talking to my friend Harry about this. And I said, watch, next week AJ is gonna do the phenomenal forearm and stop just shy of Shinsuke, and then the whole pat on the head was a callback to last week. I didn't say that part, but I did say that AJ was gonna stop short and kind of just look at him like, I could have hit you, bitch, but I didn't. And that's what they did. So I was kind of mad that they stole my idea, but I was happy to see it come to fruition as well. So there's that. All right. This week does not have a winner because I think both shows just wanted to get to WrestleMania. So as far as who won for the week, I'll give the slight no show won for the week. Nothing. They both shows were just mad. They had the mindset, okay, let's just get to WrestleMania. Raw had the better match, but it was 3 hours. The show was 3 hours. So to have one good match for 3 hours is, I mean, shit. I mean, it's not shit, but I mean, damn. No, it is shit. You got a show full of video packages. We have one good standout match, and then let me get to these Andre the Giant Royal matches that they've been having. Matt Hardy versus Goldust, the 8-man tag, the women and random matches served absolutely no purpose. Now the Asuka match did because that not really so much for Asuka, but just for Nia Jax to come out and cause mayhem. But you didn't need to do that in the context of the match. You just gotta have a promo and that Nia Jax come out. In my opinion, you shouldn't even have Asuka on Raw. Personally, I wouldn't have put Asuka on Raw. These matches serve no purpose at all, other than to say, hey, they're in the battle royal. That 8-man tag served no purpose. And here's the thing. This is why I say it serves no purpose, because there's no consequence for either person if they win or lose. I mean, you could say that the winner gets momentum, but if they don't win the battle royal, then what's the point? It gets people on TV, which is good, but it's just filler. And then I know what you're gonna say. Well, Warren, you'd be upset if all they had was video packages and hype packages and no matches. You'd be upset about that. And you know what? I probably would, but that's more substance than filler matches. Now, if I went to Monday Night Raw and got a show like that where it was mostly video packages, I'd feel cheated. But I feel like even if it was just full of video packages, that's more substance than just having filler matches for the point of having matches. And that was my problem with Raw and SmackDown. That's why I'm not picking a winner this week. I'm not saying the shows were horrible. I will say that this Monday Night Raw was probably one of the worst go-home shows that I've seen. Or I'll say underwhelming. That's a better word for it. It was underwhelming. I will say that. SmackDown too. So both shows were meh. I'm gonna watch WrestleMania regardless, but that's just because I'm a devoted fan. But Raw and SmackDown did absolutely nothing for me to get me ready for Mania. So that being said, I'm Warren Freeman. This has been episode 73. You've been accompanied by the sounds of the weekend, which I don't own the rights to, and you guys have a wonderful night. I will have my WrestleMania prediction videos for you at the end of the week, and I will review some WrestleManias throughout this week.